So the quarterfinals have gone, England are through, and we've seen the emergence of some real talent, haven't we? I mean, normally you get a superstar that you knew was going to come out the blocks and fly, like an Mbappe, a Cristiano Ronaldo, but it hasn't really happened in this tournament, unfortunately. But the kids, the schoolgoers.
It's not under 21s, under 23s, it's teenagers.
Teenagers. They're not even allowed to drink legally yet, some of these kids. It's a joke. So I want to go through a couple of them, man, and just talk about them, because I love to see the young players do well, and definitely when they emerge, normally in their leagues, but this has been in a tournament. It's been ridiculous. Kobbie Mainoo for starters, Arda Guler, the Turkish boy who's carried the Turkish team on his back almost, in the last game especially, was magnificent. And Jamal. Them three there have been like super outstanding. I don't think we've ever seen 3 teenagers in a tournament come to the fore like this.
Do you think all 3 are similar in certain ways as well? Not in their style of play, but in their sort of maturity that they're playing with.
Yeah.
Because like when Wayne Rooney burst onto the scene, and when Michael Owen burst onto the scene, they was just like raw energy and ability, but they didn't necessarily play with maturity. They just blew you away. And I don't think any of these 3 are doing that. I think they're actually playing with like 20 years experience. It's weird, isn't it?
I don't know. I do think Wazza was a mature footballer, a really intelligent footballer, even from a young age. I remember when him and Cristiano both signed as teenagers, you'd always say Wazza looks like the 25-year-old, like, because decision making that he used to make, physical, but the decision making he used to, was always first class, and he played the right pass invariably. Yeah, he had maturity levels in terms of petulance was probably immature, but his actual ball knowledge and ball game was a joke. But like you said, I agree 100%. These 3 are making decisions that you'd see.
I need to see passports. I need to see birth certificates.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I need to see a chronology of how old these really are, because like Jamal's playing like a 25-year-old.
Yeah.
Kobbie Mainoo's playing like a veteran. Like, let's go through him in depth then. So I think Güler I've not seen as much of, and I missed last night's game, and obviously you're really hot on Güler for that. Jamal has blown me away, because we've seen this season the emergence of him, and you've gone, all right, he's good, okay, you're playing in a good team, you're playing in a league that suits technical players. I'm not overly impressed, but then you see him in the Spain team, you go, oh, that's different. There's something else here, isn't there?
Yeah, I watched him in the Champions League against PSG, big game, knockout stages, creates one of the goals. At every stage of his development, you've seen him in these big moments. He provides. He produces a moment in the game, and like you say, and it's different with wingers as well. He's a right winger, right? And with wingers, normally there's always an immaturity in their game, or there's an area where decision making is a little. Oh, we need to give him a bit of time, experience. This kid,
like you get with Garnacho.
Yeah, Garnacho. There's like loads of players that you give them a bit of grace because they're young and they're immature. This kid, man, he's getting the ball. He's playing 1 and 2 touch a lot of the time. Then all of a sudden, when he gets an opportunity to dribble and go past people, he will. Right side, left side. He's he's unpredictable in the way he takes the ball, and elusive. And again, decision making for me is a separation from a normal good player to someone like him. So I can see this kid going on for years now to be like a dominant winger who's going to be a nightmare and match up for any fullback.
He might play for another 20 years.
It's unreal. He actually can't go into a bar and buy a pint.
For a couple of years.
You know what I mean? He can't for 2 years, yeah. It's crazy.
Talk to me about Güler then. What is it in Güler that you see?
Arda Guler, the Turkish Messi, they call him over in Turkey. And it's very different, obviously, but the kid, I liken him more to maybe a Modric type when Modric was younger, and then he could develop, because he's as good getting the ball off the centre back deep, like a 6, as he is getting the ball in the number 10 area, as you saw in the game where he banged in a goal. So, and that's all just down to being press resistant as well. But his left foot, man, and it even sometimes looks a little bit like Phil Foden at times. It just depends where you catch him on the pitch. But he can take the ball anywhere on that pitch and come out the other end of it. And he's just little magician. And he's another one who's going to be around for years. And I don't see. Normally, you see a player go to Real Madrid, 18 years old. We'll loan him out for a year or two, and we'll see him in a couple of years. Not this kid. I don't see that happening with him. I see him getting in around that team. Cruz is retired now. He's still got a lot of competition, but this kid is, I think, huge talent that is going to be around for many years.
And Kobbie Mainoo, obviously, we're a little bit closer at home with him, being a United player. In 2 knockout games for England, 97% pass accuracy. Have we ever had a player do that?
No, not really. I think he's got a maturity. Again, I keep saying the word. These 3 have maturity. Kobbie, I think, probably the more than all of them. in just that he can come onto a game and doesn't feel like he has to prove to anybody why I'm here. Most young players get into the team and you go, I remember when I was a kid, I've got to show him why I'm here and why he's picked me to do something out of this world.
Is that why you think sometimes you get the decision making with the youngster because they want to overplay?
Yeah, they can't control that emotion. They can't control that feeling of wanting to impress. So, but he will play. If he gets 20 looks in a game with the ball, and all of those looks that he should play a 10-yard pass, he'll play it. But the moment someone jumps out and comes and pressurises him, that's when he comes to life and he can move someone and wriggle out and get through.
He's got that little double touch in the Esther step down to a T, hasn't it?
I said it immediately when I saw him as a kid. He reminds me of Seedorf in style so much because he's got power. He's got that little yard of pace with the ball. He's able to wriggle out of positions. Probably just hasn't got the 2 foot that Seedorf had. But he's a wonderful player to watch, and I think he has been one of the reasons why England's fluidity and cohesion has improved as they've gone through this tournament, and his relationship with Foden, I think, will grow into something really, really promising and impressive and meaningful for England. The way I saw him in the last game against Switzerland, dovetailing. Kobbie Mainoo playing as a 6-stroke 8 in the game, but how many times did we see him in the number 10 position, high up the pitch, and Foden coming in?
Players are rotating.
Yeah, and Foden coming into the 6 or 8 and getting the ball. That is what you call intelligence, but great players find a way. I'm not saying they're great yet, but intelligent players and players with huge potential find a way to play with other good players.
Yeah, the composure with Kobbie Mainoo blows me away, and to think that if he hadn't have had the performance that he had in that one Liverpool game, he might not be here, because Gareth Southgate picks his squad, says he's not in my squad, he's not in my plans. He plays in that game and Gareth's like, actually maybe not. Then he plays, then he gets man of the match, then he comes here, doesn't play, everyone's like, don't think he's ready. The tabloids was just not even considering him whatsoever. He plays, he gets man of the match again. I don't know if that was official or just mentally that I gave him that, but I think it's official.
I'm not sure.
He was the best player on the pitch either way. And then he just goes on and I've never seen a player just so unruffled and take every level up just in his stride like it's nothing.
I think all 3 of those players we're talking about, that's one of the biggest traits in their game, the composure. And we're playing in Euros. I've played in the Euros. The pressure for playing for your nation is huge. It can be almost, it takes you under and it can consume you, and it can bring fear into your body no matter what level you played. They're 18 or teenagers now that are going into games. Played in World Cups, bigger than Euros, isn't it? Really? No, but in tournaments football.
Someone will comment, and I'm just getting you right.
International football tournaments, they can consume you. And people, we've seen bigger players than these boys with bigger reputations fold. These guys are growing and looking bigger players and better players than senior and more adult players.
Is someone going to be walking on with a trophy?
Kobbie Mainoo will get his hands on that trophy, I believe.
I think Jamal might.
Yeah. It's a conversation. We'll cross that bridge when it comes.
Let us know which one.